The following segment is sponsored by Providence Health and Services. This segment of Afternoon Live is brought to you by Family Matters.
Health and education, safety, and the quality of life. KATU and our partners are proud to bring you Family Matters, offering solutions to the hard questions.
Because KATU and Providence Health and Services know that family matters.
Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. It's no secret that many people resolve to be healthier in the new year, but a 2021 study found that 2/3 of those who set New Year's resolutions give up within the first month. So here to help, we welcome from Providence Integrative Medicine, naturopath and acupuncturist, Dr. Weng is with us today. Dr. Zuming, good to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. I'm glad to have the opportunity.
Yes, you say there's 4 areas that we need to focus on. So let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with sleep as the first.
Sure. So for me, a good sleep, it means you have 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night, and then you have a quiet and right temperature of the bedroom. And also you should be able to fall asleep within 30 minutes and sleep throughout the night. So that's what we call for good sleep.
So what happens when you're not getting a good sleep, and how can you fix it?
So usually the most important thing I tell my patient is, please make sure there's no electronic screen used the hour before you go to sleep. Use that hour actually to wind down, to cool down. You can do gentle yoga, nothing too stimulate. And then you can also do some journaling. So that hour is really for yourself, and then you are ready to sleep.
So no TV, even an hour before?
No electronic TV either, like any electronic screens, basically.
How do you feel about melatonin and taking something to sleep?
I tell people, if you need once in a while or seasonal change, if you need melatonin to help, that's totally fine. But if you constantly needing to use something, that's an underlying problem there, and you should seek out for medical care.
Okay, so the first one's sleep. The second one is diet. What are your biggest tips for a good diet?
So I always tell my patient it's always important to eat in moderation. And then each meal, I also ask my patient, with your plate, half of the plate should be vegetables only, many cooked vegetable, and then like greens, broccolis, and then cauliflowers, no starchy vegetables, and then also no fruit, just vegetable only. And then a quarter of the plate should be lean proteins, can be animal or just plant-based, such as beans or tofu. Meat-wise can be like lamb, pork, chicken, etc. And then lastly, the final quarter should be whole grains, unless you have a celiac disease. And then your starchy vegetable, like potato, sweet potato, can be in this quarter, counts toward to the whole grains as well.
Okay.
And then lastly, when you go shopping, because we do our grocery shopping, so it's important not to bring unhealthy food back home, because once it's in our house, we tend to just I need to finish up. The most important thing is to read the food label on the back. And then if there's only one thing you can remember from this interview, I would say look for no added sugar. We don't need extra sugar anymore.
I love it so much, though, but I hear you. I totally hear you. Okay, so we've covered sleep, we've covered diet. Next is movement. What do you think as far as movement? I know that you even have what your heart rate should get up to.
Yeah, so for me, I recommend moderate intensity movement or exercise. And then patient always ask me, what does that mean? So one tool we can use is use the maximum heart rate. So moderate intensity means 65% to 75% of maximum heart rate. So we need to know how to calculate maximum heart rate, which is 220 minus your current age. And if you are doing any kind of exercise or movement, if your heart rate is between 65 to 75% of your maximum heart rate, then that's a moderate intensity exercise for you. So I know sometimes it's easier to give an example, like an actual math here, so then people can understand it easily. So let's say I'm currently 20 years old. So then 220 minus 20 years old, then that will be 200. That's my maximum heart rate. If I want to do moderate intensity exercise, I will times the 200 to 0.65 and then 0.75. So you will get 130 to 150. So if I'm doing any kind of movement or exercise and my heart rate is between 130 to 150, that range beats per minute, then that's moderate intensity for me. And then once my patient know how to calculate the moderate intensity, they usually ask me like how long and how often. So how long will be, you should just have a thin layer of sweat. That's how long for you, because everybody is different. How often? I usually tell my patients start from once a day and then build it up.
Dr. Weng, thank you so much. Great advice today. You guys, we're going to have more information about Dr. Weng, and there's the phone number for Providence Integrative Medicine, 503-215-3219. We'll have it all on our website at KATU.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.